life coach. Hi guys, I'm Ruchita. I'm a psychologist.
But then in psychology, so there are different theories. So first and foremost, obviously, the Sigmund Freud. So obviously, so he had many things to say about dreams. So one of the thing was obviously the unconscious desires, the sexual desires, and etc. They manifest itself in our dreams. So the repressed childhood fixations that we had, or the memories of our childhood, which was stressful, etc. All of this, they are manifesting in the dream. And another, as I told earlier, about the wish fulfillment part. So, and any wish you have, so it comes in your dream and it is fulfilled in your dream. And one thing I agree with Freud is about the manifest content and the latent content of the dream. So, manifest content is again, which I told about, the person or the situation, it manifests in the dream. So whatever you're going through, it manifests itself in the dream. So that is the manifest content. And then there is the latent content. So that means the dreams that you are coming across, they have a deeper meaning. So as I told about the dream of falling that you were having. So, it is a new direction that you need to take in your life, or maybe you're failing at something. So that is the latent content. So the dream, they have a deeper meaning. So actually Freud came up with this manifest and latent content, and Carl Jung, he agrees with the latent content as well for the dreams. So that part I really like about the manifest and the latent content. Obviously, unconscious and sexual desires, that is classic Freud.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with that so much.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have not read about the Freud's interpretation, but as I was researching now, I came across this Calvin Hall's theory of, he proposed a cognitive approach to this. So what he said,
Okay.
what he said was different. Dreams are just different parts of our waking life. So dreams are just simple thoughts that appear in our mind during we are sleeping. So whenever we are awake, so all in our awake time, whatever thoughts we have, that but during the sleep. So it is just random. Basically, he said that it is just random thoughts. That is what Calvin Hall said. And this is almost similar to a scientific theory that I read about, which is the activation synthesis model. So what this says, it says that our brains are trying to make sense of, say you are sleeping. So obviously our brain is not sleeping, it is active. So whatever things that are happening at that time in our brain, so our brain itself is trying to make sense of it. So what it does is, whatever activities are happening, it is trying to make sense of it. So it takes some parts, some activities from the amygdala and the hippocampus, and it tries to interpret it.
Okay.
And that results in a dream. So amygdala, so for example, amygdala and hippocampus may, there is some activity happening. Okay, there is give and take of thoughts, emotions, blah blah. So the brain is taking some parts of it, and this becomes a dream.
Okay.
So basically what the brain is trying to do at that time is, it is trying to organize your whole day's happenings. Whatever you did the whole day, it is just trying to, this is what I am understanding from it, that brain is just trying to categorize it. Okay, this was what happened, this is what happened, to, for obviously for memory purpose. So and right, so at that time brain is just taking these, and it is just happens as a dream.
So actually, I had also come across such a theory. So what happens is, the brain is trying to make sense of everything. So it is drawing over the entire day's events, and at the same time, it is also trying to figure out, what memories it wants to keep and put in the long-term memory, and what memory it wants to let go of. So that is what dream is. So it is quite scientific and quite cognitive based, that the brain goes through the entire day's events and it is figuring out what to do with it. So that is why you are replaying the entire thing in your head, or something like that.
Right. And there is also another like theory, that scientific theory I'll say, which is called as neurocognitive model of disturbed dreaming. So the unpleasant ones, or your emotions. So what it says is dreams are just a way of our brain regulating our emotions. Okay. So मतलब नॉर्मल जो ड्रीम्स रहते हैं, दैट जस्ट हेल्प्स अस इरेडिकेट द फियर एंड जो भी नेगेटिव इमोशंस रहते हैं ना, उसको इरेडिकेट करने के लिए. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, एंड आई मीन नाइटमेयर्स ऑन द अदर हैंड is the failure of this regulation. If you are able to regulate your emotions successfully, then that is what a proper dream is. But if that regulation fails, then that is a nightmare. This is the neurocognitive model of disturbed dreaming is saying. So one example that I remember of, very recent, like literally 1 week ago. So in my clinic cabin, I noticed a lizard. I am like very scared. I'm scared and disgusted with lizards. Okay.
I know.
And this lizard, it was not on a wall or something away from me. It was where I'm sitting near my table. Okay. And I was sitting with a patient, and I couldn't act. I couldn't run away or do anything. I was like controlling. There was another doctor sitting with me, and there was also staff. But after the patient went, I went to the staff. I asked him, please, can you just help me, like just remove her, karke. So, but I was not actually able to express how I felt: disgusted, scared. And all those thoughts, like what if she just comes on me, which is very irrational, but it is just a possibility. So, and at that night, I dreamt, this is so random, a lizard which was quite big and she was just randomly running in our house.
Lol.
And this house, it was my house only, but we like renovated our house quite a few years back. But the house that I had in my dream was the pehle wala house.
Okay.
And I am so very scared, and I'm running, and I'm standing on the bed, and dad is trying to do something, but dad was not. He was like normal hai karke, and she's just running. So I think that is how, that because I was not able to actually express my fear, disgust
at that time
in the actual situation, my emotional regulation happened in my dream.
Right. So actually it kind of also made sense, because I had come across a theory wherein people who are suffering from disorders, so like PTSD or depression and etc. So they come across a lot many stress related dreams. So the nightmares and all of that. So it kind of also makes sense, because they are not able to regulate their emotions and etc. So as you said in the theory, that when you're not able to regulate your emotions, you so that is how the nightmares are caused. So it also makes sense in that way.
Right.
So there are also a lot of common dream things, as we talked about earlier, the dream of falling. So in the same way, there is so actually researchers have come up with a lot many common dream things and what they actually mean. So they are interpreting the latent content of the dream. So one such dream is like being naked in public. So the meaning of that is like you think of yourself as being a phony person, a fake person, and you're also scared about your looks, like your shortcomings in your appearance and all of that. But So the dream interpreters, they have come up with this meaning for being naked in public, that you might consider yourself as fit and you have concerns about your appearance. So that is what. So
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know how like scientifically proven these interpretations are, but obviously there can be a truth to it, right? So there are other themes also that I had read about. So one read about, and also someone had told me about it. It is a dream about being chased in your dream.
okay.
And there's this book called as Dream Dictionary. It is given by Tony Crisp, and he has talked about this chasing part in his book, where he says that this kind of dreams are interpreted as a desire to escape from your own fear or desires.
Okay.
Like if you want something, there's a desire, but maybe it is not getting fulfilled, or you're not able to fulfill it, or there are some fears but you cannot deal with it, so you're trying to escape it. So you might get these dreams of being chased. But in that also he said that there are three types, and it depends on who is actually chasing you. So if there is say there's an animal who is chasing you in your dream, then he says that maybe you're trying to hide your anger, like you're suppressing your anger or your passion and feelings, you're suppressing it. That is the meaning of if a animal is chasing you. I don't know how does that make sense, but that is what he was saying. And second type was an unknown chaser. Okay, so like a mysterious unknown figure is trying to chase you. Then he said that it says that it represents the childhood experience of past trauma. There's a past trauma in your childhood. That is what it means. And the third one was someone chasing you from the opposite sex. So what he said, what it means that you are afraid of love or haunted of your past relationship. So if you've had a very bad relationship experience, then you might get this dream of a person of an opposite sex chasing you. So that is what
Yes.
Tony Crisp was saying about dreams of being chased.
So yeah, so as you were saying that obviously like these are not scientific meanings of dreams. So these are the latent content. So the dream researchers, they have conducted a lot of research and they have come up with this interpretation. This is not scientific. So
I mean, it's like a social science.
yeah. And cognitive psychology is science, but then the counseling and etc. All of that is social science. So yeah, so obviously this is not the scientific meaning. And as you were saying about the animal chasing, so that part of the dream. So animals are quite instinctive in nature. So that is why maybe it is an indication. So that is maybe why they have interpreted it as anger or passion or feelings being come across in the dream. So that is what.
Right. These are like raw feelings, no?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
makes sense.
Yes, and another dream thing that I have come across is a dream of losing teeth. So teeth again, if you see, it is related to appearance and attractiveness. So when you have such a dream, it is interpreted in a way that you have concerns about your attractiveness or your ability to communicate also, because it is representing your mouth, right? So then you have some kind of problem with assertiveness or decisiveness or something related to speech also. So that is how they have interpreted the dream of losing teeth.
Okay. I remember when I told one of my friends recently that our next podcast is going to be about dreams. She first thing told me about this, that you can talk about this, and this is something that she experiences quite often, that like falling teeth. So I was like, okay. So now you told me about the interpretation of it. So yeah, I mean, these are interpretations by other humans. So, and which makes sense in many of the dreams. Some of like they do make sense that okay, in part they are right, in part maybe or may not be like that. So yeah, she was telling me that she often get this dream of teeth falling, but I have actually never experienced that, so I don't know.
I also have never come across that.
Yeah, but it is actually good, like these interpretations, I mean, even though they are just interpretations, but they are actually see, if somewhere they are giving us insight to where to start to work on.
Right.
So it is actually good, like you at least might start thinking, because it can just give you some insight and awareness which might not be there before. So you can at least start working on things with, like, everything is workable. So you can so good that these interpretations in that way are like helping.
Yeah. So this is actually related to Freud's latent content theory. So as you know that unconscious, so it is also related to the unconscious part. So your brain is coming up with unconscious meanings for the dream and the latent content. So unconscious mind can never be experimented upon, because it is quite symbolic in nature and etc. So that is what yeah.
So one more I had read about a common theme in dreams is a dream of about dying. It can be dying of a loved one, or like you yourself. Okay, so like what is this interpreted as? It reflects anxiety or fear of change. So I
Right.
think how we can make sense of it, this is like, there's a change. So
Hmm.
like the older part is now coming to an end and the other part is starting. So there's like a loved one dying or you yourself dying. So that is how it is interpreted. And there's also a psychologist called as Peter Lowenberg. And he said that this is quite common in parents, that dying of a loved one, it actually reflects for them. It is actually there's only one reason, that is the fear of change.
Hmm.
So for them, what he said was, parents actually are missing their own children's childhood. So as their children grow up and they go out, maybe the innocence and everything is not the same. So the parents are actually afraid, or not afraid, they are missing that childhood phase of their children. So they get these dreams like
Okay.
that, you say.
Right.
Yeah.
So so I used to have a lot of dream about taking a test. So when I was reading upon it, so it actually means that like maybe you have an underlying fear of failure or something like that. And as you said about Kelvin Hall's theory, that dreams are just an interpretation, not interpretation, but a manifestation of your waking life. So if you are fearful about something, for a test or of failure, so it comes across in your dream. So that is also a common dream theme that is there. The fear or like a taking test, dream of taking a test. That is.
Hmm. Another very common I've heard of is the dream about infidelity in relationships. So it is like, I mean, your spouse or your romantic partner is cheating on you with someone else, which is actually very distressing for some people who are going through a rough phase in their relationship. But there are some people who try to take out meaning out of it, and then they are actually fear whether is this true or not.
Right.
So, and some of the dream interpretations have said that, like, they interpret it as the fear of like it just reflects the fear of infidelity in your relationship. Okay, so this is like that what if, like it is a type in dreams, like the what if this happens or what if that happens. So that fear in you will manifest in your dreams.
Right.
So this was from a book by Trish and Rob McGregor. They both are the authors of the book called as Complete Dream Dictionary, a bedside guide to knowing what your dreams mean. So I'm just stating these authors and books so that, in case any of our audience is interested in, interpreting their own dreams, they can, they have the resources. So,
Right.
yeah.
So another dream theme that I had come across was dream of flying. So earlier you had mentioned the author called Tony Trisk. So again in the same book in Dream Dictionary, so he had mentioned about this dream, and he said that the meaning of this dream is you want independence or you want freedom and something like that, or desire to flee from the realities of life. So it is quite obvious, quite out there.
Right. But I'll also like to add something to the infidelity part of interpretation of dreams. Like there's an author, Eve Adamson and Gail Williamson. They also had their own dream interpretation का book. उनका वो book का नाम था The Complete Idiot's Guide Dream Dictionary. So I don't know how you call your audiences
Competition, a tough competition to Collins Dictionary. And
exactly, almost all the names are almost similar. It is Dream
Dream
Dictionary.
Dictionary.
And Eve Adamson and Gail Williamson are like very straightforward, calling the Complete Idiot's Guide. They have considered their audiences as idiots.
Yeah. So it is like a book for dummies, so that
Yeah. So what they were saying is about the infidelity part is, so if, for example, if I had the dream about my partner cheating or something, then either one of the person in the relationship, their needs are not being met. Whatever you're expecting in the relationship, that is not being met. So there is the trust issue, there's the loyalty issue. So if this is there, then infidelity wala dream is quite common in that instance.
Exactly. So the concern you are having, or the stress that you are having, it is just manifesting in the dream. So if you are having concerns about that, it is just manifesting.
Yes. And then there is another common among the pregnant women, or not commonly among the pregnant women, it can be dreamt by others also, but it is a dream about being pregnant. So that it was given by David Loff, again Dream Dictionary author. Believes that dreams might sometimes represent a woman's fear of being inadequate as a mother.
Okay.
So if a mother feels that she feels inadequate as being a mother, then she might have dreams about being pregnant.
Okay.
Or it can Tony Crisp has interpreted this as that it indicates that the dreamer is developing some area of potential or deepening a relationship. That makes sense to me. Like if your relationship is growing, it is growing deeper, then you just keep on thinking ahead, right?
It is progressing to the next stage. So that is right.
So yes. So guys, that was it from our side.
Hope you liked the podcast.
And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, that is Talking Psychology with MindRush.